I've got squeaky back doors, and I'm not talking about a medical issue. Basically, if you watched the last video, you might remember, but I think it's where the seal on the back door meets the metal. Just after it's been raining, it starts squeaking. So I have put some masking tape on it for now, just to find out if that is definitely the cause. But anyway, tonight I have a luxury upgrade in the van. I'm going to show you that when we get there. To be honest, I don't know where I'm going yet. As always, I'm just kind of winging it. But tomorrow I do have to go to a shop down in Hastings to see if something is still there that I wanted to get for my mum for her birthday. So that means tonight I'm just going to head that way, find some random car park or side of the road or someone's driveway and rock up for the night. And hopefully, fingers crossed this time, get a decent night's sleep. What does that sign say? You are entering a pay and display car park. Well, I can't imagine it costs too much, so that's all good with me. But before I go into this one here, I am just going to drive down to the bottom. There's also public toilets there, which means, once again, I've escaped having to face my fears. It's a bit bumpy, but these views are something else. So it's places like this that make me want to get the rear windows in the van, because I'll just be able to rock up here, lay in bed, get on with a bit of work on the laptop and look out the windows at this view. But at the moment, it doesn't even seem windy here at all. I mean, I would be tempted to stay here, but the guy who operates the car park is just over to the left. Now, I don't know whether he's here to lock a gate. I don't think there was a gate on the way in. But either way, I do think that I'm going to have to park up in that quieter one up the top of the road. Although, to be honest, he probably monitors that one as well. Right. Is this guy still in the truck? I think he's got out. His window's open a little bit. I know he is in there. He's asleep. Maybe that's not the car park attendant then. Or maybe he's waiting until whatever time he's meant to kick people out. I guess we're just going to have to hope for the best. It's quite open though, so as soon as that guy comes past, if he is the parking guy, chances are he's going to give me the knock. So this is today's setup. The bed is still in the bag. We'll get that out later. An inflator across the floor. The light I've put up higher now because last time it was like in the middle of the van and I was knocking my head on it and all sorts. Still got the fairy lights. They're still playing up, but they'll do. Insulation is up. That's the Dodo Mat thermo liner. And this is already making a difference. I can tell that it's a bit warmer in here and the weather's about the same outside as it was last week. And I know it's doing a good job because this panel here where the window's going is freezing cold to touch, whereas this one next to it is perfectly fine. Now you can't see this bit obviously, but I've also insulated underneath the wood with the Dodo Mat Dead and Duo that I showed you last week. I've got the same stuff in here that I had before, a power station, a box of random bits, and the toilet which we're hiding out of sight. But now I have this. This isn't the major upgrade. This is a camping chair with a fleece blanket on it. We've got the old duvet again, just blocking off the light from the front there. And I've saved the best till last. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my extreme luxury upgrade. And this couldn't have come at a better time for me. I really needed one of these, and just like that, EcoFlow delivered the goods. So this is their brand new product, the Glacier. It is a fridge, it is a freezer, and it also has an ice maker on top which can make 12 ice cubes in 18 minutes. That's a lie. It can make 18 ice cubes in 12 minutes. And the best part is, it's powered entirely by its own internal battery. Now you can run it off a 12 volt as well, so you can plug it into your cigarette lighter. And you can even plug portable solar panels into it, so in the summer you could have it sat out on the grass with a solar panel next to it, permanently running it. But for me, in this empty van, the battery is obviously the best option. You can charge the battery with a standard USB-C plug, and you can even use the battery like a portable power bank to charge up your phone or your laptop or whatever. But when you're using it to run the fridge, it will keep that thing going for up to 48 hours. First of all, we have the ice maker. Now, I'm not going to use that tonight, but in the morning, we're going to test it out and see how it does. On the left-hand side, that is the temperature of the fridge, and on the right-hand side, that is the temperature of the freezer. And obviously, you can control these individually to set it the way that you like. And just wait until you see the feast that I have inside. The fact that I can keep ice cream in here now is a game changer. Now, I haven't even had my dinner yet, so obviously I'm not going to eat this now. But if I wanted to, obviously I could. But I've actually been really healthy recently, and I don't want to break that all for the sake of a feast. So I'm going to save this for another day. What the hell? But as you can see, there's so much space in here. There's a nice light either side. You got your fridge, you got your freezer. You can choose to have that the other way around, so that can be the fridge. And an amazing feature is, as soon as you pull this out, you hear it beep there. Now, it's become one unit. So it's either a fridge or a freezer, whatever you want it to be in the entire thing. And not only that, you can use this bit as a chopping board, and it stays in the lid when you want to store it. And as if there isn't already enough features, this thing also has removable wheels. Now, I don't have them on because I don't want it sliding around in the van, but if you wanted to take it for a walk, maybe throw a ball for it, see if it will fetch, take it to the fridge park and let it play with all the other fridges, then you can. Is it me, or has that light got dimmer? It's on its brightest mode still. I have a feeling the battery's running out already. So before it does, we better get... What the hell is that wrapper doing down there? We better get cooking. I have fixed everything. What is wrong with you? There we go. Brand new bright light bulb. The other one is down here on charge. And now we can see again. I told you I was the god of electricity. Because it's Sunday, I couldn't go to a shop on the way here because they were shut. But I already had this. This is an extra special British Aberdeen Angus sirloin steak. And I've got a Nando's peri peri wrap kit. Now, I know you're supposed to do this with chicken, but I'm going to do it with beef. Oh, what the hell? What the hell is so special about this? How'd you get into it? It's so special you can't even eat it. What is wrong with this? Unbelievable. You pay top dollar for what? A steak you can't access. Because I can't wash my hands tonight, I'm using a sandwich bag as a glove. First things first, we need to remove all of the filth from the edge. And the rest of it we're just going to chop into little bits. And it's time to introduce the Nando's spice and give it a good old-fashioned seeing to. And the next step, and this is very important, you have to warm up your wraps. And when you don't have a microwave, you got to make do with what you got. You might have noticed I didn't put any oil in there. I did forget it. God, did you see that? God, it's getting cold in here. It looks like she's a good one. Wow, it's hot. You might also have noticed that I haven't put any peppers in there. And again, that is because the shops were shut. That's probably about half. A bit of peri peri mayonnaise never goes amiss. And we simply wrap her up like a little baby fox. There's no Nando's near me where I live, so when I get to experience the authentic Nando's flavour, it's a good day. That, my friends, is the one. God, I sounded really serious when I said that, but it is the one. I have discovered, right? Hold on, let's kill the lights. God, look at that, first time. I've discovered this projector works brilliantly on the metal wall of the van. Lights back on. God, look at that, it's behaving. I've also discovered the EcoFlow Glacier is a good stand for the projector. And my third discovery is not so good. Basically, I have no internet. Well, I've got a little bit, but not enough to stream content on the projector, so I guess there's only one thing left to do. The bed is out. Let's fire her up. I mean, it's not the stealthiest of things. Alright, so this time we've got a sheet on the bed. Then we've got this fleece blanket, which I'm going to lay on top of. Then we've got the duvinator, and that is plugged in, and it's on the highest heat setting. Okay, let's just hope that this goes better than it did last week. If you didn't see the last episode, basically, I didn't have any insulation in the floor at that point, and the top half of me that was touching the duvinator, that was boiling hot. The bottom half of me that was touching the bed was icy cold. So I was constantly having to rotate throughout the night. I was practically a rotisserie chicken, just cooking myself on one side. Or like a human kebab. Like, you know the ones that are in the window of the kebab shop that look like an elephant's leg? and they just spin round and round. That was me. I'm pretty sure tonight is going to be better. When I was putting down the insulation, I took my shoes off because I didn't want to damage the rubber surface on it. And when I was walking from the cold part of the van to the insulated part of the van, there was such a big difference in temperature on my feet. Plus, obviously, with this fleece blanket as well, that will hopefully retain a bit of the heat that's coming out of the duvanator. And most of the van is insulated on the walls and the ceiling now as well. So with a bit of luck, I will sleep all the way through to the morning this time. Well, provided no one else comes along to wake me up. There was a fox doing some obscene things outside earlier. But I'll update you guys in the morning as to how I slept. Well, obviously you know how I slept. I sort of laid down and shut my eyes. But you know what I mean. Catch you guys in the morning. Oh, sort your life out, you stupid bulb. What the hell? And you. What? Good morning, people. I imagine you have a few questions. Did the fox get what he wanted? Is the freezer still frozen? Are there squirrels out the front doing acrobatics? But more importantly, was I a human kebab, just spinning and spinning, attempting to keep my body heat in? Well, let's address that one first. That sleep was one of the best sleeps I've had in a van so far. You might have noticed when I pulled down my curtain that it's a different curtain. So what happened was it did get a little bit cold in the night, nowhere near as bad as last time, but it was a little bit cold with that thin fleece blanket underneath me. So I decided to swap it for the thick fleece duvet that was hanging up as a curtain. And as soon as I put this one underneath me, it just became like an oven in this bed. The duvanator radiated the heat down from the top, and this thing retained it like a pro. Now, the question about the fox, that's not really my place to say, I'm afraid. The question about the freezer, we will find out shortly. And one of the more important questions of the day, are there any acrobatic squirrels around here? There's your answer. Now, I would open up the side door, but I looked in the wing mirror and I could see a pigeon having a bath in one of the puddles out there. So I don't want to disturb his morning routine. Instead, I think I'm going to jump in the driver's seat, get back round to that park up round the corner and get myself a coffee on the go and check out the freezer situation. Right, there's one car over there. Oh, I need to go and check the parking meter here because I used the app and I paid for parking, but the only code for the parking area that I could find to pay for was the one down the other end. Right, there's the sign over there. Oh no, it looks different. Is that a 5 on the end or an 8? Oh no, it's an 8. I think we're good. Yeah, that's the one I paid for. It was £4.30 for the entire day. Right, down to this next car park. Do you know what? I think I've fixed the squeaking doors. And as if by magic, the van has been transformed. We've now got a seating area to look out the back door once we drink our coffee. The bed neatly folds up against the wall. I believe they call this a Murphy bed, the way it just tucks away like that. We've got the cooker out, ready to make the coffee, but most importantly, we need to see if the EcoFlow Glacier has remained frozen. Oh, I can feel it. That is definitely nice and cold in that side. This is the freezer section. Feels solid. I've had to open it up just to check that it's still solid. But obviously it's breakfast time, so I can't really eat an ice cream for breakfast. I just realised one thing we haven't tried is the ice maker. Let me get a coffee on the go, and then whilst I'm drinking that, we'll whack some ice on. Apparently it only takes 12 minutes. Look at that for a nice little viewing platform. Right, whilst that coffee brews, let's get all this prepared. So, it's got like a minimum and maximum fill line in there. So, I'm just going to stick it to the minimum because I don't actually want any ice cubes today. I think we have to shut that, turn the display on, and then there's an ice button here. Oh yeah, you can choose whether you want big cubes or small cubes. Let's go for big cubes. And I think we just let it do its thing. Don't get me wrong, I love EcoFlow products and I've supported them since the start of this channel pretty much. But in this case, I'm not 100% sure that this is going to be able to make decent ice cubes in 12 minutes. I hope I'm wrong. We're going to find out obviously in 10 minutes now, but I just don't see how that's possible in that short amount of time. Right, the coffee's been brewing for 8 minutes. Today it's the Ethiopia one that I'm trying. God, I don't think I put enough in there. It's only a little coffee today. Look at it, it's more like an espresso. They'll be gone in one sip. Ethiopia, you're in the lead. That's the best one I've had so far. I've been asked a few times recently about the jelly bean and do I miss her and all of that. I mean, of course I do. And it gave me some amazing memories and took me to some amazing places. And it kind of feels like I've lost somebody important to me when I saw the jelly bean driving off. But at the same time, I now have this thing. I mean, it's kind of like, so imagine you went to a funeral, right, for a loved one, and you were really sad and upset. And then you got to the wake and you had a baby. It's kind of like that. You're losing one thing, but you're gaining something that you might end up loving even more. Well, I suppose in the case of the baby, you probably should end up loving it more. There's always adoption. And I've got a feeling me and this pigeon are gonna, oh, it's beeping. The moment of truth. Wait, why is this counting down? Oh yeah, so it's got this genius thing, right? After the ice has been made on the little metal bars, they heat up slightly to release the ice cubes from the bars for 30 seconds. So that bit's done. So in theory, look at that! They're ready! Right, we need something to put them in. How the hell do you get them out? Come on, yep. Look at that! They're out! It's got a drain hole on the side, so you drain the excess water. There's also a drain tube on the edge, which you can just drain into a cup for all the excess water that you haven't frozen. This is genius! Look at them! Ice cubes! And then there's a little door on there, that side, and you just empty them out the door. Whoa, they're not going in the cup! I'll take it back. I apologise, EcoFlow, for even doubting you. That is amazing, honestly. 12 minutes. Imagine being at like a festival or something, or a picnic. You take your freezer, you put it outside the car or outside your van. You can feed everyone ice creams and drinks all day. Not that I eat ice creams, obviously, but most people do. And then you can offer people drinks, and then you can even just chuck ice cubes in there, all off of the battery power. And you could have the solar panel out on the grass, charging it up all day. So yeah, that has my seal of approval. The EcoFlow Glacier, I highly recommend it. There'll be a link down in the description below, so make sure you go and check that out. And just to show you, so the battery percent is now 35%. Now it's been on for nearly a full day because I put it on yesterday afternoon. And I have had the freezer, the fridge going and made a batch of ice. So if you had it just for a fridge, for example, for a load of drinks, it would definitely do that 48 hours. If you're going to use the freezer and the ice maker as well, maybe you're going to get a little bit less than 48 hours. But still, that's on battery power in a fridge. I mean, that's unheard of. That is amazing. I was planning on letting this melt and then drinking it, but it's kind of covered in dirt now. So I guess we'll have to feed the grass. Looks like the rain's just started to come down, so that is about it for me for today. I'm going to go try and find somewhere to park up in Hastings town so that I can go and look for this birthday present for my mum. I've just had a text saying my bed is being delivered today. Now, I'm not there to receive it, but hopefully if they'll give it to a neighbour or something, then I can start fitting that in the next couple of days. I've got some other bits on the way too, so I can start cracking on with the rest of the build. As always, I just want to say a massive thank you to anybody who has donated to the channel by buying me a brain cell through the link in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly enjoyed the sleeping part more than I did last week. Drop me a comment, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.